everybody. It's so excited to get together with all of you today and to enjoy our time here at the Washington, D.C. Gluten-Free Expo. So I've actually been gluten-free since 2012. I was diagnosed with a battery of autoimmune diseases, especially Graves' and Hashimoto's, and was dealing with a bunch of digestive issues. I actually started going and I was seeing an acupuncturist and nutritionist, and she was actually the one who made the connection for me that I actually had celiac as well. Kind of goes hand in hand when you see all the autoimmune, but at the time my doctors unfortunately were not seeing that. So she made the connection and she changed my life for the better. So I was already a huge traveler and I already was a writer. So I decided to start combining those interests and I became a travel writer. I started with a blog, Gluten-Free Nova Girl, and then from there I've kind of branched out into writing for magazines and different publications. My biggest takeaway that I've come from all of this, and that I hope to have you impart today, is that you do not have to feel deprived while traveling gluten-free, and you do not need to be intimidated by the prospect. Although you are in a foreign city, or although you are dealing with language barriers, or dealing with fun airlines, which are always stress-free to begin with, you do not need to feel that you're having any more stress added on top just because of your diet. It is easy to navigate, it can be done, and you can even have fun doing it. My first tip, choosing lodging. This has been huge. So one of the things I found is it's easiest to try and find a place with a kitchen, if you can. Over time, I've really come to find the websites like homeaway.com or Airbnb, things like that, or even people like Red Week, where you can list timeshares that are available for rent up on their Red Week, someone that just wants to unload it for a week. So these are ways to get condos or different kinds of apartments that are up for rent, so you can have a kitchen and availability of best of both worlds in a city or someplace. For instance, I actually just did this. I went to Savannah last month, and we actually found a listing for a condo on HomeAway, and we actually stayed in Tybee Island right outside of Savannah. And it was great because we were walking distance away from the beach, and yet we were also only a 15-20 minute drive into the city. So we had a kitchen. We were able to take care of all of our breakfast needs or things like that there, and we were able to enjoy both the city and eating out there. And we also then still were able to have some control over our meals at home as well. I just found it to be, I am a kind of a control freak, and I just find it to be a little liberating that I don't have to worry as much. And the added bonus of that too is you also can save some money on some of your meals and splurge where you want and not have to worry about the budget as much for all your meals out. Then I also find looking for accommodating bed and breakfasts. Again, you have more personal contact with that. So I've had some extremely wonderful experiences with bed and breakfasts. There are places, like for instance, I stayed at a place in Chincoteague once where I called and spoke with the owner ahead of time. She was familiar with accommodating gluten-free diners. She made an unbelievable breakfast for me every morning that was completely gluten-free. I had pastries, baked goods, pancakes, you name it. And then she also did a high tea every afternoon. And again, I told her that I was interested in doing it. I was gluten-free. She made the entire platter of high tea baked goods, tea sandwiches, scones, the works, and all of them were entirely gluten-free. So it's amazing what you can find if you find some accommodating people who are willing to work with you and also are educated. But again, that's some of the personal contact you get with a bed and breakfast. I had another time where the person was not as educated with gluten-free living, but he was willing to learn. So he asked me what I would need. I told him I needed to make sure that he was cooking my things beforehand, that everything was clean, that everything was used separate, etc. And I asked it if I just brought my own gluten-free baking mix for pancakes, if he could make my pancakes separate. And he was willing to do so. He used all separate utensils, and I was able to still enjoy a gluten-free pancakes along with everybody else, while they all had the rest of their baked goods or whatever they were having for breakfast. So again, having the personal experience and the personal interaction with the bed and breakfast owner, it just finds a way that